Welcome to the demonstration video series for the dynamic text talk and text routines. For these routines, students will need the selected text and gloss list, whiteboards, and dry erase markers. Once students have begun to develop an awareness of and interest in words through prior implementation of the word consciousness routines, we can focus on creating a comprehensible text reading with routines for embedding glosses in the text. This video will introduce you to the text embedding routines 1, 2, and 3, chunk and embed the gloss, reading with embedded glosses, and partner read with embedded glosses. In order to embed the glosses in the text, we need our students to be able to identify a useful text chunk for their target word. By text chunk, we mean the few words before or after a target word that help to preserve its meaning as used in the text. These are often bounded by punctuation, for example, beginning at the start of a sentence or ending with a comma, semicolon, or period. In this text excerpt, the target words have been highlighted in yellow and the text chunks highlighted in pink. The text chunk for declining in the first line is the phrase, "Help us avoid declining or collapsing," and the text chunk for societal in the second line is, "In analyzing societal collapses." It will be important to spend class time in whole group reviewing the target words and discussing possible text chunks with your students. Remind them that we are looking for the smallest chunk of meaningful text that contains the target word. The instructional sequence for this activity is as follows. First, each student writes their assigned target word in gloss on the whiteboard and underneath copies out the entire text chunk. In this example, the target word is pristine, which we have glossed as pure. And the text chunk from the text excerpt by Jared Diamond is the most pristine environment in the U.S. When completed, review the whiteboards with several students, directing all to underline their target word. Next, students erase the whiteboard up to their underlined target word, and then they add the phrase "that is," and write the gloss, and then they add the rest of the text chunk. Here's another example of embedding the gloss in the text chunk. In this case, the target words have been flagged with sticky tabs as the novel is not a consumable text. Once students can identify a text chunk and have had practice embedding the gloss in the text, we are ready for Routine 2, text reading with embedded glosses, which we also refer to as oral close. Close refers to a fill-in-the-blank exercise. In this teacher-led routine, the teacher reads the text out loud, and when she comes to a target word, she pauses, adds the phrase "that is," and students chorally supply the gloss from the gloss list. You will see this process in the following video clip.
To read, and you're going to echo the gloss list. How can we understand what makes some societies more fragile? That is
brittle and weak.
Than other societies. The problem is obviously relevant. That is
Unmistakably related
to our situation today. There are some societies that have already collapsed, such as Somalia.
This can also be implemented as a whip-around, with each student in turn reading from the text, pausing at each target word to add the phrase "that is," with the class chorally supplying the gloss from the gloss list.
Ourselves. What can we learn from the past that would help us avoid declining? That is,
going downhill, or collapsing in the way that so many past societies have. In analyzing societal, that is,
Social system
cultural,
collapses. I've arrived at a 5-point framework. That is
plan, and I'll illustrate, that is, explain and show.
The 5 points in the extinction, that is,
disappearance
of the Greenland Norse, which is
ancient Vikings.
Once students have mastered Routine 2, we can introduce Routine 3, Partner read with embedded glosses, the collaborative practice and application stage of the text embedding routines. As with the whole class whip-around, to maximize student engagement, we recommend the intra-sentential reading pattern, where Partner 1 reads up to and including the target word and says that is, and Partner 2 supplies the gloss and continues reading up to and including the next target word and says that is. Partner 1 supplies the gloss and reads up to including the next target word and says that is, and Partner 2 supplies the gloss and continues reading up to and including the next target word, and so on. You will see this pattern in the following video clips.
What can we learn from the past that would help us avoid declining, that is?
Going downhill, or collapsing in the way that so many past societies have in analyzing societal, that is,
Social systems.
Know a good deal about the people and our motivations, that is,
Ambitions, interests. In 89-84 Vikings, that is.
San Jose, November 26th, IPS-GIN, occupational.
That is, work-related health protections are a mere fantasy.
That is only a dream for the 12.4
Elite One suddenly ambushed on somebody, and he did pounce on people quite often. He had a slight stammer, that is,
hesitant speech. And whenever he was angry and could not get his words out quickly enough, he would use his...
This video has introduced you to the dynamic text routines for comprehensible text reading. To learn more about the dynamic text approach and instructional scaffolds, please visit our website.